go. Alright, back to the channel. So it's been a while since I've been on it. Decided to get back to it with all this pandemic stuff going on. Might as well try to have some fun with it. Figure this might help people who watch the channel too or have questions. Alright, so today on the do-it-yourself part of reloading and shooting, I am actually going to walk you guys through me doing my load development for my recently rebarreled rifle. This is going to be used for mostly long range hunting, but I could also maybe do some low round count PRS matches with it. Maybe. Um, so I had a Bergara HMR Pro in 6.5 PRC. Great round, loved it. But not enough when the pandemic hit and you can't really find anything that is 6.5, let alone 6.5 PRC. It wasn't, I just didn't, wasn't for me. So I decided after about 900 rounds, I would rebarrel the rifle. That's what I usually do with a factory rifle. And then I started thinking, well, what am I going to rebarrel it in? Am I going to chamber it for 6.5 PRC and continue? I still have a lot of 6.5 PRC stuff. I might revisit it down the road, but not right now. But then I thought I needed something with a little more punch to it for hunting. Because being in Wyoming, you can have longer shots, but also the game that we hunt, you need some more knockdown power. You need some more of that kinetic energy. The more foot pounds, the better. So 6.5 could have done it. It took my deer last year, but I got an elk tag this year. I was leaning towards, well, I need something bigger than 6.5. So I was looking around what I could do quick and easy, rebarrel this rifle with doing the least amount of effort possible, but at the same time, getting a bigger caliber. So 6.5 PRC, for those of you that don't know, most of the rifles, at least for my Bergara, the action is a short action. The bolt face is a Magnum bolt face, which this is a floating bolt head, so if I wanted to change it out to a standard bolt face, I could, but I didn't. Magnum bolt face, short action, and this one takes AICS 300 short magazines, detachable box magazine. And so I started looking into it. I've actually never had a 300 short mag, so I thought, why not? It's 30 cal. I looked at what components were available that I could get, and I got them. I was able to find 208 grain. They don't make them anymore, but I scored 400 of the 208 grain Hornady AMAXs. Perfect. My local gun shops over here too actually still carry factory 300 short mag ammunition too, just in case. Let's say I don't have all the components or I run out. They carry 300 short mag ammunition. I was looking at it and I made the decision beginning of the year to go ahead, you know what, I'll do 300 short mag. I'm very confident in it. I had a 300 Win Mag before, 300 Ultra Mag. So I like the 30 cals. And I started pretty much starting this build with this rifle. So it took a while for the barrel. It took me about 6 months. Actually, no, 5 months. This is when the election was going on. It was crazy. So here was the game plan. As I ripped the rifle apart, I'm keeping the same action. So the barrel I got for it is from Preferred Barrel Blanks. It's a 1 in 10 twist, 900 varmint contour, 27 inches, bead blasted stainless steel. So if this way I have it Cerakoted or painted, it's easy to apply and stick to it. I'm waiting for this right now, but the next piece of equipment to get is my KRG X-Ray chassis. It's going to be more ergonomic, better in the long run for whether it is PRS or precision or long range hunting. The fact of the matter is, it's worth every penny. It's such a great quality chassis system. I am hooked on them. I love them. Uh, Handled that done. I also got a tuner brake. So for those of you that don't know, I'm sure you do know, Eric Cortina designed tuners for precision F class. Well, he designed a tuner brake. So it's a muzzle brake, but it's also got the tuner capability at the end of the muzzle to tune your load to get the tightest grip possible. So with that being said, 300 short mag, I already went through 40 rounds, factory Federal ammunition, which this is another thing to point out too. So I changed out the barrel, I head spaced it, it's good. But when I was shooting this factory ammunition, my muzzle velocity was about 3150 feet per second, and it's 180 grain Federal Power Shock. And pretty much all of them, you can see this. There we go. Right about there. So right at the top by the C. That's a plunger. Usually that's a sign of overpressure. I wasn't having hard bolt lift or anything like that, but I was having hard extraction. But then again, I've been doing some research. I've never had a 300 short mag. I've rebarreled several rifles and I've done a lot of load development for years now. I know max pressure. This is factory ammunition, and I never came across this before actually with factory ammo. So I thought there's got to be something wrong with me. I double checked headspace, it's good. I really cleaned out the barrel too, which also too with that, I have a very, very, very good method to get every bit of carbon and copper out of your barrel. And also, I shouldn't have had max pressure too on the same part as with me. From now on, what I do is I shoot with my bullets coated in boron nitride. I'll go into that stuff some other time. You know, I'm not gonna. Anyways, it creates less friction, less heat, reduces pressure, so on and so forth, more consistency. I actually coat my barrel and my bullets in it. I have a certain method for that too. Got that from Long Range Only. Those guys are awesome. They're good. But now let's go over this load development. So what I'm going to be doing actually is I wrote down all my notes here. I have notes everywhere on all my reloads. So I'm going to be testing 2 different powders and 2 different primers. Okay. So here are the 2 primers I will be testing. These are the only 2 primers I even have. So obviously Federal Gold Medal Match large rifle magnums. And also some of these CCI number 34 primers. These are the large military rifle primers. The reason why I'm testing these 2 is you never know. From what I've gathered is these are more on the side of a magnum primer than a large rifle. They are a harder cup design, and a lot of people say they act very similar to large rifle magnum. And anytime I do a load development, I want to test 2 different primers always, at least 2 to 3. It gives me a good idea of what's going to work best for my load development, because you got to remember, we're doing long range precision, whether it's target shooting, you're just doing it for fun, or you're doing it for hunting. Like I'm doing it for hunting, so I'm okay with a shot. I'm more than capable of taking a shot, 1,000 yards, whatever. That's fine. I need to make sure my loads are squared away. Everything is developed good. So we'll be doing primers. Those are the primers we'll be doing. Obviously, for right now, we'll see how this federal brass performs. I've heard it's a lot softer than all the other brass out there for 300 short mag, and there's not that much of a variety you can pick from for 300 short mag. Lapua doesn't even make it. I was really gonna go for Lapua. The two main ones I was looking at was Nosler and Norma, but they are expensive. I've seen some Nosler for $2.15 a piece of brass. Yeah, okay. We'll see. I mean, I might pick up some Hornady. That's my fallback on everything. If this stuff doesn't work, to my standards at least, I'm not asking for Lapua standards, but if it just doesn't seem off, I'm not getting good brass life, I won't do it. So, what I've already done with this brass too, this is once fired factory ammo. I've taken measurements off of all of them. So I've already annealed it with my own annealer. I always anneal my brass, better precision. So now we'll be going through depriming, full length resizing with a shoulder bump. And then I already have my measurement for base to ogive. For those of you that don't know, it's going to the ogive and not to the tip because it's more accurate. It's a better way to measure stuff. And the two powders I will be testing is H4350. Had that container for about a year. My other one's down there on the shelf. It's another 8-pound keg of MRP. I have other powders. I got MagPro. I've got some other ones, but the main one I kept on seeing, out of the powders I have, H4350 definitely was brought up a lot for 300 short mag. MRP was brought up too. The reason why I'm going to pick those two is because this is for a 208 grain bullet, so heavier grain seems to perform better, but we'll see. The MRP is a slower burning powder, so it might perform better. It might give better consistencies, and it might not overpressure, because the 300 short mag is actually from the factory already a very hot standard pressure at CIP, which is higher than SAMI spec. The CIP, I believe, is like 64,500 or 65,000, which is pretty high. Short mags run that way. So that's what I'm going to do for those, because you can dibble dabble, whatever, you can look at the other ones, but that's what I mostly want to do is see how those two do. So we're looking at 20, so per powder that I'm going to test, we're looking at 20 rounds. So we're looking at 40 total. I have 40 annealed and ready to go. And I'm pretty much doing a ladder test, not really, ladder. I'm doing one shot at each charge. I'm starting at the max, or no, not max, sorry, no. I would start at max, but with the way the 300 short mag's acting, I'm not going to test it. No. Start at the starting charge weight with 10 rounds at, 10 rounds with the CCI 34 primers, 10 rounds with the Gold Medal Match large magnum rifle primers. And what I'm doing is recording velocity. I use my magneto speed. I will show you the target later on, you'll see on the video I will. But you don't really, you're not supposed to take everything that shows on target when you have a magneto speed on it. And I agree, because in the long run, it's going to mess with harmonics in a way. But this will also give an idea and show. I like to have it as, you never know, just information. So I'm going to be going up in 0.3 grains. So this is for H4350. I'll have to pull up the Norma MRP because I just came across it the other day that Norma MRP works well with it. on some forums. So I'm gonna have to pull that up and give that a shot. So my starting load for both of them will be 56.4 grains. I'll be charging it with my RCBS Charge Master Lite. Do one round apiece. So I'm going to be going from 56.4 to 59.1, and the max is actually 60.7 grains for H4350 with a 208 grain AMAX. I'm going to see how this goes. Okay, so if it's not showing signs at 59.1 at all, and it's doing good, the brass is holding up, I will continue on until I reach max and see how it does at max, and then even might go above max, because usually Hodgdon's website, the max charge is pretty well tamed. But we'll see. With the way I know everything's good on the rifle. I did everything right. I quadruple checked everything. Safety, headspace is good. There's no carbon ring. I deep cleaned it, but it still showed that overpressure sign, which was odd. So we're gonna see. So we'll get that started. I have my measurements that I want for my headspace comparator. I want 2000 shoulder bump. We'll get all into that. Just provides more consistency. There's nothing wrong. At full length size, case base to ogive measurement, because you can also adjust seating depth. I will not adjust seating depth. I won't, because seating depth has to do with harmonics, and it has to do with your group size. And here's the reason why I'm not going to do it and mess with it, because I'll have to come back and redo and double check my powder charge and see if I'm still in that node. I have a tuner brake. I double checked with Eric Cortina. Dude knows his shit. Said, really, it's going to be hard to tell the benefits of doing a seating depth and then the tuner brake, especially in my primary goal. It's very minute. It's not a dramatic, noticeable difference. So we're just going to stick with that. We're just going to leave it at this measurement. This allows me the most powder capacity for my case, which is good. That's what we want. And also too, I double checked my my jump. So I didn't do the jam method. So I don't care where my lands are. I just want to make sure I'm not near any getting stuck in the rifling. So I use my Hornady overall length gauge. I double checked because I'm limited by magazine length. I'm not limited like some people. Some people are limited to the maximum length being 2.860 inches. My magazine length for the 300 short mag is the 2.950. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. That makes me happy. But I wanted to double check. So took one of the bullets, put it in the gauge, pushed it till it hit the rifling, tapped it a little till it got in there. It was a little stuck. Took a measurement. Compared to my maximum length of 2.950 inches, I have about 50 thousandths before I get anywhere near that point of being in the rifling, any whatsoever, to cause issues. So I'm fine. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna put it to max magazine length, and then after I get done with my powder charging, and I find the powder it likes, the primer it likes, and the velocity range in that node, which will be done quick and easy. Then I will go on to doing the tuner test. I'm not even going to do seating depth because it cleared up a lot of air. And we'll show how that's done. You pretty much just shoot 3 rounds at one setting, another 3 rounds the next setting. I'll walk through all that stuff. I know this is a little long, but I'm just kind of going over this stuff right now, because I'm not going to show all this fun stuff, blah, 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 because I'm sure most of you guys know the common sense knowledge of, hey, I'm a full length size, I'm going to bump my shoulder back 2 thousandths after measuring. But But one thing I didn't talk about on that part, neck tension. So, right now, I don't have any Redding dies for the 300 short mag yet. Pretty expensive. Plus, they were in and out of stock with this whole thing. So I have your standard 300 short mag dies for now. They're from RCBS. For now, full length size. It'll still get me by. It'll still make it work for now. Because like I said, I still gotta get my X-ray chassis for it too. This will work. It'll be okay. I promise. I've done this before. I used Lee standard dies for my 243, and it shoots phenomenal. But I know some people are like, I want the best. Well, I do too, but it costs money, and I got a bunch of kids to raise too, and I got a mortgage. Anyways, so neck tension. What I used, I had it sit right here. I don't think I do. It's a bit of a mess. No, I have to go grab it. All right. So I'll be using my standard die, and once I get the bump right, then I will move on and set my neck tension, which is going to be 1.5 thousandths. And I have a mandrel for that. That's what I'm going to do after I size it. The reason 1.5, I still want tension on it. I don't need much. Some people go like 3 thousandths. 1.5, 2 thousandths neck tension, I think, across the board. If you're looking for, from what I've seen, now keep in mind this is DIY. I've done this a while, and I've done a lot of testing. In my personal opinion, if you're looking at neck tension, well, what neck tension should I use? Experiment with yourself if you want, but you're gonna beat yourself over the head. 1.5, 2 thousandths neck tension, I believe, is good across the board. PRS, hunting, everything. That's what I think. It's not too much. It's not too little. I think it's good. I think it'd be fine. No worries. Same thing with the dies. These dies are pretty. I mean, your standard dies, they're not bad. They're really not. You just have to do a different approach with them since they're not your bushing dies, which I have a set of full length bushing dies for the 6.5 PRC. I haven't noticed the difference between that and this. It'll help with case life and overstretching the case. But anyways, don't get all wrapped up into it. Make sure you do your load development right. Do it the proper way. Keep track. That's why I'm going to see how well this... Right now, this is pretty much going to be a test of the brass. Because I really think it's the brass. This federal brass, I don't think holds up that well. I annealed it, so it should hold up pretty well. I've got a lot of federal brass for 243 that I'm pushing pretty hot. This is a hunting load, so I want it to be pretty hot. I'm not looking for a lower node. If I can get a velocity node that's about 100 feet per second faster than the other, for at least this purpose with long range hunting, that's what I'm going to go for because it's for hunting. I'm not looking for, okay, I'm going to make this last a long time. Well, this is hunting, and I'm not going to be out shooting it a lot. And if I do, then I'll have to make changes. But I need that extra velocity just to be safe because you want to quickly and humanely put down this animal. Not for sport, but it is sport in a way. It kind of is. But the sport being is you are doing this for fun, but you are doing this humanely. This is another life. So this is mostly the hunting part of it. Now this load development I will do in anything. This is the same load development I do whether it's a hunting load that I'm looking for, anything. This is my go-to. I've done the ladder test, I've done the OCW, I've done all that stuff. This is the method. Now this is the method I use if I have a tuner brake on it. If I don't have a tuner brake, then I will have to do a seating depth test. You want the best round possible. Some rifles are capable of consistent sub half inch, half MOA groups. Some, if you have a factory barrel, you don't have a good aftermarket precision barrel, might get 3/4 of an inch. It doesn't matter if you have a tuner brake on it. I've seen it. I've seen somebody put a tuner brake on a rifle that was straight out of the factory. It was only like a $400 rifle. Yeah, it got better, improved better. His reloading skills, he did good reloads. Um, the barrel was still a factory barrel. It wasn't exactly a precision barrel. And granted, I mean, mine is a pre-fit. I did it myself, but it works good. So don't, I mean, set high expectations, but be ready for them to not meet or exceed it, just in case. Be happy with what you get. If I can get sub half inch consistently out of this rifle with very good velocities that are very small spreads, then I'll be happy. My factory ammunition spreads across 10 rounds. Um, I did an extreme spread, 10 rounds factory. Now keep in mind it's factory. Um, with the stuff I did to the rifle, my extreme spread was 31 feet per second. That wouldn't be too acceptable for your standard chambering 243, 308 Winchester. This is a Magnum cartridge. So one thing I learned, it makes sense, is on the Magnums, it'd be cool if you could get extreme spreads of like 10 and below. That's awesome. But it's a Magnum, so it's going to be double. So think about it. 31 feet per second, rounded down to 30 out of a factory loading, not hand loaded. It's a Magnum. That's equivalent to having 308 Winchester with 15 feet per second spread on factory ammunition. Good way to look at it. So we'll get it going. I know I talked a lot. We're at about 27 minutes. But this is going to be how I want to get this video off right. Quick little explanation. It's been a while. Because a lot of the things I do are not standard. Kind of out there. Cuckoo with it, I guess. So, there we go. I'll also make sure my case length is good when I trim these. Because I better put the right shell holder in first. I want them to be the right length. Start off fresh. This isn't unfired brass. You know, this is factory ammunition that was fired, so I want it to be as uniform as possible. And like I said, it's not Lapua brass or anything like that, so you gotta realize it's not gonna be exactly what you expect. Get the right shell holder. Maybe I did have the right one. Got my other stuff. Interesting. Obviously not one. Oh, I did have it. Just didn't put it in there right. Alright. So as we test one. And yes, I do have expander ball in there. So, I know I'm pausing a little bit here, but so let me see where it is. Alright, let's see. There we are. So I have my measurement that I want. And I'm not there yet. So I need to move this down a little bit. And 2,000 shoulder bump is just enough. We're not trying to do a lot. So, let me get started on all this. I know I talked a lot. So next video is going to be me actually doing the testing, and I'll walk through everything a little more that I didn't. Alright, see you at the range.